Greetings, YouTube world. This is Diet Dr. Griffin, and I'm back stealing mail from my neighbor. And this segment we like to call, What Did My Neighbor Rent from Netflix? As I mentioned before, I go through my neighbor's mail, and if they happen to have a Netflix movie, I go and I watch it. Let's see what my neighbor rented. Color Out of Space. Color Out of Space is a movie based on the works of H.P. Lovecraft, who was an author of horror-related works in the early 20th century. This movie, starring Nicolas Cage, revolves around a meteorite that falls from the sky nearby where he lives in the middle of the woods, and the calamities that ensue. Much of the story revolves around the family who gets to deal with the meteorite, and the matriarch, the head of the family, is Nicolas Cage, who gives out a performance that kind of reminds me a bit of Vampire's Kiss, because he's talking with that upward inflection, that snobby attitude that he talks with in that amazing piece of work. Seriously, go see Vampire's Kiss. That movie is something else. Color Out of Space was directed by Richard Stanley, and this is his first bit of work in major cinema anyway, since The Island of Dr. Moreau almost a quarter century ago. I actually saw The Island of Dr. Moreau in the theaters, and I wish I had saw a Very Brady sequel, which is what my sister saw. But no, I listened to my dad, and my dad said go see Island of Dr. Moreau. This would not be the only time I listened to my dad and got bad movie advice, because I also did the same thing when Titanic came out. Unlike The Island of Dr. Moreau, this is somewhat decent of a movie. If you like the color magenta, well, you're in for a treat, because magenta is everywhere. And I'm not just talking about Magenta from the Rocky Horror Picture Show, although that would have been awesome if she had decided to show up dressed up as a maid and decided to start humping turkeys, because that's a thing that she did in the movie. Anywho, back to the movie that I'm actually supposed to be talking about. Much of this movie deals with the exciting topic of water testing. Yeah, that's actually a thing. This guy named Ward, he goes around and he's testing water, because the water, I guess, that the guys drink from gets poisoned, and it makes everybody go crazy and see magenta and hear magenta, and yeah. Where this movie excels is in the visuals, as they do a fabulous job mixing in practical style effects with the digital magenta scenes where everything just starts going crazy with magenta. Yeah, you kind of need to watch it to get a real feel of it. And Oh yeah, Tommy Chong's in it too, and he gets possessed. Spoiler, he gets possessed by the water and stuff too. So that's pretty cool. And there's this girl, Nicolas Cage's daughter, named Lavina, and she's a witch, or trying to be a witch, so that her mother, who's had some kind of breast cancer surgery, can get healed up, which is like the whole reason they moved out into the middle of nowhere from the city. Yeah, she's a witch, and she's a hot witch at that, with purple hair. Not magenta hair, purple hair. The movie is a bit of a slow burn, and there's a lot of alpacas in there for some reason. Now, that was kind of an odd character choice there, just a bunch of alpacas. I don't even know what an alpaca is. If somebody would like to let me know down in the comments section, that would be greatly appreciated. I'm a little bit too lazy to just go on the Wikipedia page and, look it up like a normal person. The last section of this movie is where the film is really good, and I don't want to spoil any of that part of the movie because, well, that's why you kind of come for the movie. I mean, it's like with any old slasher movie, you have to set up the characters first, and then Jason or Michael or Freddy comes in and then starts killing them, and then you root for the bad guy. Chop, chop, stab, stab. Make motions not applicable to what you're saying. Overall, I would recommend that you do steal your neighbor's mail to watch this movie. It is visually interesting in ways that I cannot articulate without taking psychotropic drugs. If you're a Nicolas Cage fan like yours truly, you will get some enjoyment out of this film, although it is not quite to the same level as some of his other more zany performances. It is definitely going to have a few zany moments in it. I give this movie 2.5 magenta meteorites that came from the sky and not from somewhere else. Or from space, as really the title suggests it should be from. Now I must get going. I have to get back to the Stranger Things rewatching that I am doing at the moment. You took 20 minutes out of my life to record this video. Shame on you. Shame. Oh yeah, like and tell your friends about it, this stuff, because, that's what you should do. Keep people afloat. Give me that money, 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 money that I'm never going to receive a penny. Ta-ta!